The second part of our lecture is going to be about efficiency and privacy in the workplace. And this is more the traditional way. The first part was about email. And you were told to expect privacy, and we find out that the court says you cannot expect privacy when you tell somebody about something. So that was very interesting. Now in this case, which I found it and I wanted to share with you, is the traditional expectation is that managers in business are convinced they must be able to control the workplace because they are liable if anything happens to you while you're working, workers' comp. They are liable if anything happens, like hostile environment, the sexual harassment that we're going to go on later on. But this is what makes it so interesting. That's why they feel that they have a duty. There's a contractual relationship between employer and employee. Therefore, they have a duty to make sure that everything is safe. And in a way, therefore, they have to control. So, in the same time, there has to be efficiency because they are in business to make profit, to make society better without harming it. So, since they bear the ultimate responsibility for the success of their enterprise, the quality of their personnel as well, the efficiency of their operation is very important. And judges recognize this management concern, and judges really do not want to interfere with the business decision because judges are not business people, so they don't really want to interfere that, but they're realizing that the company is there to control their interest, to make sure that nobody takes it away. So in the Simpson case, to cut down the incidents of theft of tools and other company property, and you have to think now, this is one of the reasons why we have monitors all over the place, is because they want to control that nobody steal product, butter, milk. You know, when you go to Pathmart or you go to King's or different stores, pharmacy, whatever, they have all these videos because they want to make sure nobody steals anything. Well, in this situation, being that they were skilled people, Becca and Wilcox began random lunch bucket checking at his tubular division. So they were skilled people, they were workers, and the manager decided to randomly check their lunchbox. Well, Simpson, who was employee for 29 years in that company, I'm sure that he did not appreciate, he really was a strong believer of his right to privacy. And that's what he expected. Therefore, he did not allow his lunch bucket to be checked. This is something that I'm innocent until proven guilty. Therefore, I don't have to prove to you that I'm innocent. So I can see how he felt. He strongly believed that this would violate his privacy rights. So then he was suspended for a week without pay and denied unemployment compensation. Case question. What is circumstantially reasonable? Here we go again, the word reasonable. Who is reasonable? The group of people that have little disagreement about the same issues. Forget about the individual right of privacy. What does the reasonable people believes? And this is where many times you hear, hey, if you have nothing to hide, then you don't mind people inspecting your lunchbox, or you don't mind people coming into your house, or you don't mind. Do we approach employment on equal bargaining power? Do we really have bargaining power? Do we really, when we go for an interview and we have that contractor relationship and the employer say, hey, these are the conditions and these are the terms of your employment, can we say, well, I hope you don't mind, but I really would like to not be tested for drug, for example, or I would like to have my my room at the other corner of the building, or whatever it is. And the court knows that really we don't have equal bargaining in employment. We really know that the employer has an upper hand over us. Are we be able to negotiate as an equal the last time we had a job offer? Just remember, we really don't have as much as we should under the Constitution. We don't. Then what risk do employees run when they complain about unreasonable demand? That they participate in illegal or unethical activities, for example. So here is a problem. You don't have equal bargaining, but then if the employer is asking you to do something that you believe it's not reasonable, but society at large believes that there is, what can you do? Because when you are interviewing or you going for a job, it's a contract relationship between two people. It has nothing to do with society at large. But then when you have employment, you have to behave what society at large believes you should behave, and not what is your individual ethical or individual rights. Therefore, what is the definition of unreasonable demands, and unreasonable to whom? So when we are discussing issue and you are working with your employer and your employer is asking you that he wants to, I don't know, in my situation could be, I want to see what you have in your pocketbook. Well, is it unreasonable for him to ask? Maybe I'm carrying something toxic. Maybe he's responsible. Or maybe he's concerned about me having a gun. Or maybe he's concerned about me having some drugs or marijuana. So randomly he's going to have everybody pocketbook checked once a week or once a month because he wants to make sure everybody is safe in that department. Well, to me, is an unreasonable demand. And then if it's unreasonable, that is unreasonable to me, but then is it unreasonable to my employer when he's thinking about the safety of all the employees in his company? Does the advancing of technology then change the concept of reasonable expectation of privacy? Because technology now makes it a much bigger or global view. Does it change the concept of what is reasonable? Because technology can see a lot more than just our own two eyes. Technology makes it's not just what New Jersey people or a county New Jersey might think it's reasonable, but now there's other people that have access to the technology. And where we define reasonableness, and you can see that the advancing of technology is going to change what is reasonable, because next thing you know, we're going to deal more in a global situation. Is there a distinction between office and the home in terms of reasonable expectation of privacy? Many of us work from home because of technology. Therefore, is there a distinction between expecting privacy at home and not at the office when we are working from home? As a matter of fact, about a couple of years ago, there was a law proposed in the Senate and in Congress, I should say, that the employer, if you're working from home, the employer has the authority to come over your house to make sure that the area where you're working is safe. And I'm very happy that it did not pass, because my big joke was I have to clean my house now when people comes over. Now I have to clean my house also when the employer comes over. And there's something that the fine line, where is the privacy? And more people are working from home because of technology. And therefore, is there a distinction? Or is it because now we have a computer in the house, there is no privacy in the house either? If we are downloading pornography, or there is a daughter, 11 years old, that because of email and because of the chat room, she's getting involved with somebody pedophile. The parents are liable today, where before the parents were not liable for a situation like that. But here comes the technology, and it starts changing what is reasonable and what is not. Today, it is reasonable for the parents to watch over what the children are downloading on the net, where years ago it was not reasonable to expect parents to see what their kids watch on TV. And today, more parents are not even home. So this is where the reasonableness, because of technology, seems to change. So let's discuss this more on our discussion board. And again, the legal perspective of the right to privacy, and also how we are more reflecting the good of society, which is ethics, the outcome oriented. Thank you.